everyone! Welcome back to the Letters Pages. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Mark.
And today we have our feeling it signs because we're going to decide whether or not we feel your questions or not. Yep, that's... No, we're not.
Can I pass our questions by, just not feeling it?
Yeah, you pass! Our first question today comes from Carl Maxey, who asks, Cap and Eric, Hollywood keeps remaking already good movies, but if they want to remake anything, why not bad movies that deserve a do-over?
I mean, very famously, Roger Ebert has a quote about this.
Does he?
Where he's like, why do you keep trying to make really good things? Take the not good one, or take the ones that are just okay and make them great.
Yeah, and that's what they should be doing.
And we had a run of this in the 70s and 80s, which is kind of the only thing I can ever point to. And people are like, all remakes are bad. I'm like, yeah, but The Blob, The Fly, The Thing. And there's another one in there where we just... Oh, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like, we did a bunch of remakes of, like, 40s, 40s, and 50s movies. And
nobody realizes they were remakes. So everybody thinks The Thing is the first thing, and it's not.
Yeah, and they're all good.
Yes.
So, like, yes, I agree with that. Take some not great movies and like, don't do... what's that movie that you want to show me? The big science fiction. Don't do the Day the Earth Stood Still. But
that will be very soon, by the way.
But maybe do I'm trying to think of what's that one they do on Mystery Science Theater, the movie.
Oh yeah, This Island Earth.
Yeah, maybe do This Island Earth.
Normal View.
Like don't remake The Godfather, but maybe remake like something that's around that time that's not great. But, like, has potential. Remake movies with potential.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I'll answer the question. The answer, let's not be naive, is that...
Those things have marketable names.
Popular movies that people never saw in the first place, have brand recognition. They have titles that you've heard of. Most bad movies... people haven't heard of because they didn't perform, and people have heard of them and they have a reputation. Okay, so could you have a great remake of Waterworld? Yes, but
did you hear that there's a Blu-ray with 20 to 40 extra minutes? There's an extended cut of Waterworld that was released?
Special longer version. Yeah, great.
Even more water.
Now, would you agree with me if I said Waterworld remake? Sure.
Absolutely.
That's not a bad idea at all.
It's already just Mad Max on the water. Just make it like Mad Max Fury Road on the water.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, that's the reason. Like you're asking Hollywood to keep doing the thing they're doing with different motivations. Like it starts from a place of people have heard of this and it will make money even if it's bad initially because people have heard of it and it's safer. When you make movies people haven't heard of, and especially if you make movies based on something that is notorious, it is a lot harder to trust that it will make any money at all. And
you're not going to remake Battlefield Earth.
Expensive investments, and that's why that doesn't happen. And I can understand that to a degree, but obviously I would much prefer what you're talking about. It's just, in a perfect world, movies wouldn't cost anything to make. Now, at the same time, we spend more money on a lot of movies than we need to spend. And we need to, like, reprogram the culture to take chances on things. I think Netflix is helping.
I do too.
I think the streaming services are doing that, and you're going to see a lot more of the kinds of things that you're asking for in movies that and like new ideas and IPs on
Netflix,
streaming
and Hulu,
services
and Amazon.
So the variety is coming back. It's not coming back as much in the movie theater. And I don't know how relevant that is
dying, so...
How relevant is it? Yeah, sure. Tyler Thompson, what's the worst movie you've ever seen in the theater? Serenity, maybe. The new Serenity.
I mean, I saw Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. It was the first movie I ever saw on my own in the theater.
I thought you were gonna say.
I also saw his Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I saw his Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in theaters too.
That's up there. Whiteout is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in the theater.
Yeah, you've always talked about
I talk about that a lot. The Box. The Box. That's one of the worst movies I've seen in the theater.
BVS.
And then you and I, of course, absolutely detested the remake of Flatliners. I also saw, like, a lot of them are crappy remakes, like we were talking about before. I saw the Day the Earth Stood Still remake in the theater. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Think of, like, really bad things. Because I'm kind of picky. Like, because I want to be snarky like The Last Jedi. But, like, I'm trying to think, and I'm like, I guess I saw, like, R.I.P.D.
Yep. That was pretty bad.
But not, like, rememberably bad.
I still make fun of Brandon for liking that movie, man.
You know, like,
you can like whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
Mika Vahasarja, in your opinion, should Marvel update... I'm sure I butchered your name, I apologize. In your opinion, should Marvel update Magneto's origin, since it's getting a little unbelievable that a Holocaust survivor would still be alive, and should they use another real-life genocide, or make up a fictional one? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting notion. Eventually you have to, or you encase him in ice.
I think we're there.
Well, you could do what you do with Captain America. You could find some way to move him to the... Why not?
Him and Professor X have to be friends. He gets thawed out of ice and then they're friends.
Both of them. You could have
Professor X is also
together.
Was also
somehow?
frozen in ice.
You know what? It sounds ridiculous, but there are easy ways to put those two characters together in the past and then put them in the same situation. Like that's easy.
The problem.
So why couldn't you do that? I'm just saying. And it wouldn't necessarily have to be ice. You could come up with anything. You could come up with some kind of like time
travel or something like that.
Yeah, it could be a time travel thing, or a stasis, some kind of cryogenic stasis.
Whatever it is,
I guess that's like ice.
It muddies up and complicates what's a very simple story, and I think that's the problem. I think if fictional Holocaust isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, but the problem, would it resonate with people as much if it was something that didn't exist? You know what I mean? If you had to make up something.
But I also
That's tough.
feel like we're in a place now where, like, if you used a real world one, people might cry foul. But I also don't know what else you could use right now.
And again, nothing that would resonate with as many people because everything else is just so much smaller.
Or without like altering his ethnicity, like would you make him like a kid in Nam, or like something like that? Like you'd have to completely alter him.
And anything you did like that, if you're familiar with Magneto from before, you'd be like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough fix. It's difficult. That's the problem with these stories that can never die. With these serialized comic characters that we just keep going with, wherever they came from before.
You know, he looks amazing in the '90s. Did you see that? Did you see the trailer for Dark Phoenix? He has aged incredibly since
well.
World War II.
Yeah, those guys should be 60, and they look 35 at best.
Yeah, I didn't think about this. He's like 6 years away from Ian McKellen.
No, it's amazing. It's preposterous. Yep. Bill Mills, what are some comic writers you've always wished would work on certain characters and for some reason haven't? I don't know, can you immediately think of anybody? Or it's like, here's a...
No.
I think artists is easier. But like, I'm immediately going, who would look cool in Mignola art? Who would look cool in McFarlane art? Like,
yeah.
But just like a writer that you want, like
I'm sure I have answers.
Yeah, there are writers that I feel like are pretty great on anything. Where I'm like, just inevitably, eventually, like it would make sense to put this person.
Rick Remender on New Gods. Oh, Rick Remender on Superman, like any Marvel or any DC property, because he didn't work at DC. And Rick Remender, everything he does is great.
Yeah.
And he writes pretty okay married people.
Hickman on Star Trek.
Sure. Okay, but you do understand what happens if you put Hickman on Star Trek.
Yes, but
there was a secret cabal of super smart people that are secretly behind everything wrong with the universe, because that's what he always does.
The nice thing is, Hickman is always really hard to follow until you get to the end and you put it all together, but I know Star Trek really well, so I might have a better chance at actually following it. You know what I mean? Like, if he's drawing...
ahead of the curve.
If he's drawing from stuff, I'll be like, no, I know where he's going. Everybody else is lost, but I know what he's doing. Yeah, that'd be really cool. That's my answer.
Sure.
We gotta keep moving on. Daniel Eldridge, thoughts on Bill Maher tripling down on his show, no less, and have you guys seen Peter David's response? I wanted to mention this briefly. It's really good, yeah. I don't want to talk about this a ton. We have brought this up before. But yeah, Maher, I think, is being kind of childish in just constantly coming back and calling everybody that reads comic books babies, and for liking Stan Lee and feeling like he's significant and resonated with us like he did, and he's just not listening to the arguments, and he comes from a place of ignorance. He just does. And
he's, as far as I'm aware, because this is what every article says, he's standing alone. No one is coming to his aid in this.
Yeah, I don't know why he's doing that. It's like and it makes him look like a little kid, and it makes him look like he's incapable of admitting when he's wrong, or at least being open-minded enough to look at it. Like, he needs to see what the comic culture is like now. He's just refusing to do that. Just sit down and read a few of the books that people are undoubtedly recommending.
I'm sure everyone's saying Watchmen.
Everyone's got to be in stuff currently.
Yeah.
You know? Right, with his sensibilities, they're all handing him political books, I bet. They're probably all like, you know, like I would give him hacktivists. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that I bet he would find interesting.
I'm sure he'd like Coates' Black Panther.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be waiting for the punching.
That's really funny. But anyway, Hunter...
Look, this book has no punching in it!
Hunter,
there's no blue beam in the sky.
Captain Logan, with Eric living with you, has Eric gotten you into any anime yet? We know Eric watches anime.
That's weirdly, like, ominously worded.
We know he watches it! Sit down and take it, Cap!
You watched the first couple episodes of Big O?
I did. I liked it a lot. I need to go back and watch more of it.
Yeah.
I love the Batman animated series aesthetics. We reviewed the first couple episodes of that on one of the most early omnibuses.
You...
Ghost in the Shell. You've shown me some...
You watched Ghost in the Shell, but they know about that.
Right. Well, I don't think you've shown me anything I didn't review.
Yeah, pretty much anything you've seen has been on the channel.
Yeah, but that's true of most of the things we watch in our lives.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If it's new and if it's a thing we've never seen before, we tend to talk about it on the channel. That's part of why we make
Not
the
really. I mean, you watch Castlevania, which isn't anime, but it's close enough.
But I'm not like an anime fan now. I'm as open-minded as I've always been. I mean, maybe more so as I've watched. At
some point, you are going to watch the first Evangelion movie, and we'll see how that goes.
Is it going to be a maybe watch?
Yeah. At some point, it's been on my shelf for forever.
I am getting more curious about mangas. I liked the...
Are you interested in reading the Alita manga?
I am.
Okay, because I've got it.
Absolutely, I am. I was going to ask you for that soon, actually. I don't have time to read it right now, but I want to do that soon. Solar Dragon 007. Why do you think more superhero movies don't bring on comic book writers who work on the source material to pen the scripts? Excellent question.
And that has always been a question.
Mm-hmm. So you don't know the answer?
No. But video games do.
Yes.
And I think that's interesting.
It is.
Because they make more money. The video games make more money than movies now. So I don't...
But it's because... I
guess it's not because it's entirely narratively driven, right? Like...
That's right. It feels like... yeah... I think with video games, it's a different culture of business. So and I might be wrong. I don't know, but my guess is it's like a Hollywood elitist thing where like breaking into screenwriting seems to be really hard for no good reason. Mm-hmm. And it seems like if you get it's like the comics don't count. It's like if you sold a script for a lot of money, then people will look at you even if it never made a movie. But it doesn't matter if you sold 1 million copies of a comic book. You're not going to get in until you sell a script.
Now, some of this is changing with
Jason Aaron should have no trouble getting work writing a movie.
Now, some of this is changing because of
TV shows do more often go to creators.
Well, and that's expanding. So, like, I don't know if you know this, but like some of these comic creators are writing episodes of things that you didn't know they were working on. Mm-hmm. Ed Brubaker writes at least one episode in the first season of Westworld.
Okay.
Matt Fraction worked on Da Vinci's Demons. So, like, they're starting to get work there. But also remember, I mean, I know this is the most, like, extreme example, because Walking Dead is the biggest thing, but Kirkman was originally in the writer's room for Transformers.
Okay.
Like, they're doing some of that. What they're not doing is bringing those people on
the
to
things
script
they worked on.
The superhero movies.
And the things they made.
Yeah. Although, remember, Bendis was supposed to write that Kitty Pryde movie? Like, we're inching. We're inching.
We're getting closer.
Yeah.
But Bendis doesn't count because he's done television before. Like, a lot of the names that you could throw out are people that have been in the business before. But
it's working on a superhero property he worked on. He's working on X-Men. Bendis wrote X-Men.
Yes, but again, I don't think it counts if they've worked in the business before.
Okay.
Like, what I'm saying is, you're talking about some writers that have finally broken in working on things that they didn't do, and I don't know why they didn't get to work on things they did in the first place, but now that they have a foot in the door, they might think about doing that. But I mean, like, yeah, Ben Edlund wrote The Tick, too. What's your point? Like...
Sure.
Like, he broke into television, but actually, that's a weird case, because that's a case where he broke into television with his own thing, so that's unusual. Yeah. But anyway, so that's not, so maybe what I said's not fair. Let's do one more, shall we? CM Productions, do you guys intend on watching the new Doom Patrol series? I did watch the pilot. Eric's going to try to maybe watch that, and then we'll talk about it next time. And... Do your opinions on Titans make you less excited for future shows like Swamp Thing? They did until I saw Doom Patrol, and now it feels like I didn't love it, but it feels like every show's probably going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what Eric thinks after he sees that. But finally, are there other characters on teams you would like to see get their own live-action show on the service? I mean, I don't know.
Characters on teams or characters or teams?
Characters or teams.
Okay,
that makes a lot more sense now, yeah.
I mean, the nice thing about what they are doing is that it does seem like the sky's the limit, and it could be anything. I could get by the Question show.
Because you wouldn't have thought Doom Patrol would be one of the first things they announced.
Or Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I could get by the Question show, and that's my big answer.
Yeah.
I wanted the Question that is an adaptation of the Dennis O'Neill run.
Okay.
I would love it to be period.
So,
like set in the 80s.
So is sky the limit?
I think sky's the limit.
I can say anything,
and
it won't sound like the most crazy thing you've ever heard.
Remember the budgetary constraints they're working under, I would say?
Well, the thing I'm going to say is going to be very budgeted.
Okay.
It's going to be a thing that would not cost that much to make.
Okay.
Are you ready? Riddler Detective Show.
Sure.
That doesn't sound crazy and off the table to me.
No, it doesn't.
Riddler Detective Show.
Yeah.
With Gotham characters.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
That sounds cheap. Make it.
Yeah.
I want that. I also think Gotham City Sirens as a show would be cool, but they're making a movie, so that's not going to happen. But and obviously I want a Birds of Prey show. But
Birds of Prey show would be great.
And also Earth 2 Huntress. That would be great too. I'm liking her.
I would like a show based on Green Arrow. We haven't really done anything with him.
Oh, okay.
He's never been adapted outside of the animated series, so I'd like a Green Arrow show.
That's not true. The Smallville version.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. That's right. You always said he's pretty. Eric's.
He's never been adapted in where he's starring.
Yeah, Eric's being sarcastic because he doesn't think that Oliver Queen in the TV show is comical.
He has nothing to do with Oliver Queen.
He's Batman initially,
and then he's just not anything. Like he's just not Oliver Queen.
He's just a guy that mopes because he kills people and thinks about not killing people, but then ultimately always ends up killing people. That's going to do it, folks, for the letters pages and this edition of the Geekvolution Omnibus. Thanks a lot for watching this epically long Omnibus. We will see you again in the not-too-distant future for another one, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments. Looking forward to seeing some of you guys on the next Captain Logan show. We got lots of more Morphin Mania coming, and tons more cool stuff on the channel. So thanks a bunch for sticking around with us. And Eric, I appreciate you, buddy. I hope you had a lot of fun. Hey, I wanted to start real quick. I wanted to start doing this. What would you say is the best thing you've never seen before or read that you did for this omnibus? What would you put it like if somebody that's never looked at things that we did this time only looked at one thing? What would you say? And I got the list over here if you need it. But what would you say would be like the cream of the crop of everything we talked about this time?
I really like Payback. I really like Craven's Last Hunt and Batman Angel Alita. Although, does that count because it's based on something I've read before?
No, that counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Like you didn't actually bring up anything that you've ever looked at before, but just things that you've never seen before. Yeah. I'm gonna what I'm saying is like it would be silly if you said Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
That's what. Alita is probably my answer. I just loved it so much, and obviously Bendis' Daredevil's killer.
Yeah.
Thanks again for watching, folks. We sure appreciate it. We'll see you again next time. I'm Captain Logan.
Bye,
folks.